It's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, joined by the 5'1" of the world, Jill Ciminello.
Hello.
Hi, Jill. We have a really boring show tonight. We don't have much to talk about at all. Nothing new, exciting.
No, nothing exciting at all. And everybody's like, bye. And they've all just clicked.
I'm seeing, I'm seeing 0 users online at the moment. So
I know. I was like, and they all left. So well done. Good job, Tim.
Killing the vibe. Okay. So we may have to play this video a couple times because the live streams last for an hour. But I got a video message from the dealer I'm buying my new truck from on see ya, Alexander. By the dealer who has my truck, and my truck is actually in his ownership in dealership. He's actually there. It's got delivered. So I thought I would to start off with that. What do you think, Jill? Should we start off with that, or should we talk about EVs first? What do you think?
I think people are going to want to know about your new truck first.
Oh, the new truck first. Okay. All right. Fine. We'll do the new truck first. So this is exciting. So we'll talk more deep dive into why I bought this truck. If you're on the podcast, thank you for listening. Podcast doing exceptionally well. Unfortunately, we'll be able to see the stuff that she's talking about, but you know, in your head, just visualize.
I just want to say it's really cool that he sent you like a personalized video.
He did, and we were and Jill and I were debating about this. And I may actually ask them when I go to see them, is that what they do for everybody, just for me, whatever. But I swear they've used this software elsewhere. So I think it's something they actually do. And I think it's really cool. I definitely think it's really cool. New York Vinny's here. Wow. Bill Taylor's here. Yep. Bill's a big fan. Vehicle Nanny is what he goes by. But anyways, let's get to the video. It's been 2 minutes. I'm holding the carrot over their heads. Da-da-da-da. Okay. So there's a video. Now I can hit play. You guys want to?
Yeah, that's not a video.
I'm like, where's the play button here? Hold on. It's a different setup. I'm not used to the setup here. I'm going to scroll down.
And the technical difficulties return. No. I can't hear it, by the way.
What?
I know. I'm like, no, I can't hear it. I don't know if anybody else out there can hear it, but just know this guy is speaking to you if you can't hear it.
Why can't you hear it?
I don't know. I can't hear it.
Well, listen.
I would love to know if anybody out there can hear it.
Yeah. Let me know if you guys can hear that or not. I'm trying to make sure you can hear that. Nice volume.
So I'm going to guess that's a no.
What? I'm trying to make this happen, folks. He's going to play it. He plays my speaker, which comes through my microphone. I'll put my microphone next to the speaker.
But why isn't it playing through your computer? Whenever I've done video on a live stream, it just plays through my computer.
It is playing through the computer.
But you're saying you're going to put your microphone next to it. Why does your microphone need to be next to it? Why isn't it just automatically flowing through?
I don't know. Jill.
It's too different.
Wait. I can download the video. Let me download it.
Okay, so while he's doing that.
I got it. You need to chillax on your chillax thing.
Me chillax. I am totally chillaxed. I actually got really good news tonight that I can't share with you all yet. So just know something good is happening. Now let's see if we are no longer technically challenged.
I gotta find the video now. Okay, so what do you think of this
video?
Hey Tim, good afternoon. Kevin Kelly with Kelly Automotive, standing next to your brand new 2023 Chevy Silverado 1500 High Country Duramax. Just wanted to introduce myself and go over a couple quick things on the truck. If you do have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. My cell phone, 260-40.
Blah, 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 blah.
Dark ash High Country. One thing you'll notice about the front end is they did redo the daytime running lights, which are very beautiful and bright. You will notice the chrome recovery hooks. These little vents down here will be for your front fog lights. As you do see, though, it is a High Country. Dark ash in color, which I really love. Or High Country badging and Duramax badging.
Ooh, LZ0.
Tires, chrome 6-inch steps. From the inside here, you're going to notice your power locks and memory seats, as well as your power outside mirrors. Obviously, with the power folding function, Bose premium sound. power driver and power passenger seats. The High Country does have its own unique trim, which is beautiful. 4-wheel drive and lighting controls. Heated steering wheel, forward collision alert, and cruise control. Bluetooth and driver information center controls. We now have these new beautiful interactive screens. Brand new touchscreen radio as well with Google Maps. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is wireless these days for the new Chevy Silverado.
For you, Jill.
Lane keep assist, rear park assist, auto stop start technology, tailgate down, hazard lights, traction, and window. Also, dual zone climate control with ventilated and heated seats for both, USB and USB-C charging ports, and integrated trailer brake. Brand new transmission on these new trucks. We have it now located in the center console versus up on or near the dash. Also hidden right back here is your wireless charging. Spacious rear seat with storage underneath. All High Countries come in with a spray-in bed liner with the embossed High Country. From the back here, you're going to have dual rear cameras, also with a camera right up there as well. Also power rear slider, rear park assist with dual exhaust outlets, trailering and wiring. Again, just a beautiful truck. Love the color of this one. Just wanted to walk you around it real quick. Hey, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Once again, Kevin Kelly, Kelly Automotive, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
I think that is so cool that he walked around like your truck. That is your truck.
It is. It's very cool. So delivery is going to be next week. I'm going to hop on a jet plane and fly all the way out there and stop and see Jill on the way back. So Jill's going to be one of the first drivers of this truck. She will give you her unfiltered thoughts on this.
I'm going to see how easy that wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is. And the wireless charging, although we've known from like having driven Silverado and Sierra in the past that I actually really like the wireless charging on those trucks. So
and that charging place point for the phone is just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Center console, drop it over there. While away to Fort Wayne, I like to buy trucks near the plants because in this case I'll be touring Fort Wayne Assembly on that Friday afternoon. So I pick it up Friday. I'm going to tour the plant and drive back. Also gives me a chance to break in that first 1,000 miles and really get an idea of what I like and don't like. And I end up doing frankly, legit. I do like 3 or 4 videos on the way home. And those videos are like the best videos on the channel for that vehicle. So why not live it up? Why not just do it? And plus I get out of the house for 2 days and, hang out. And so a couple questions come up with this stuff is that why the High Country? I actually... During the process, I had the RST version, I think a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I thought about changing my order because I like the RST so much. RST, like Trail Boss, I think it was, or LT Trail Boss, what the deal was. And I put down it was the best bargain truck. I thought it really was. But I decided that after the Tundra, I had gotten so many comments about how I wasn't, not comments, but questions about features. Like, did I have the air ride suspension? Did I have this? Did I have that? And I didn't have it because I didn't have that top trim level. And so I thought, you know what? It's easier to ignore top trim level options than it is to talk about them when they don't exist. And so I thought, you know what? Let's just go High Country in this case at that point. I mean, I may not do High Country all the time, may not do top trim level. I just thought, you know what? Let's just do it this time with that case. And you guys know my love affair with the LZ0 diesel. So that's no brainer there. I really have never actually owned a diesel in my life, and I just wanted to really try one. I want to talk about a lot of things. I want to talk about the oil changes, whether they're more expensive with diesel versus gas. I want to talk about overall range and the conversation about the cost per mile, not about how much it looks like at the sticker at the gas station. Not the freak out moment when diesel's more expensive, like look at what it actually looks like for cost per mile, which one's more efficient. And I really am curious about 100-mile driving, like hypermiling it. Like, what can I really get out of this truck? Like we've talked about with the Power Boost, I did that with the Power Boost, and I did different vehicles. Is like, what's the best fuel economy I possibly can get if I go slower and I drive slower and I drive, the complete anti
I'm like the opposite of
version
Jill.
of Jill. Yeah. Yeah. So what if I
If you drive 100 miles, see what you get. I'll drive 100 miles, I'll see what I get, and I can guarantee you there will be a big difference.
So that was the deal. I just really wanted to know what I really want to know more about it, and I really want to know more about that and diesel and that kind of stuff and fuel economy and frankly that 3-liter diesel is not a towing diesel. It is a fuel economy diesel. Yeah, it's 3-liter Duramax LZ0. Ironically, I have the 3-liter Duramax LZ0 outside at the moment. In the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate. So, spoiler alert, first video comparison will be the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate versus the Chevy Silverado High Country, right? It's going to be the obvious choice there for comparisons. I got this truck delivered Tuesday. I picked up the Hummer, or Wednesday I picked up the Hummer because we had a snowstorm. And frankly, I was just like, I have to do a video on just future comparisons because I know what I'm going to do with that vehicle.
Yeah.
So that was my big news. That was the big moment of time. We'll play that video later if you guys are still around. You want to learn more about it. But I thought we would transition to a lot of problems that, well, Jill has had, I have had with EVs. We were seeing online. We're seeing videos of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so, Jill, let's kick this stuff off because you had the first problem. I did not, and then I had a second problem. We'll go from there. But what's the first problem that you ran into?
I'm like, which first problem?
Yeah, I mean, all right. So let me recap for those who listened who've never been here before, first time listeners. You had the Mustang Mach-E that you were trying to charge. You got EV blocked. Is that the word we're using for it? Charger blocked?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was it the Astro van? Was it
iced? The proper term is actually got iced.
You got iced.
And this is like last year. So last year I had the Mustang Mach-E. I got iced. I had to almost have a throwdown with a dude in my neighborhood because he parked his van, like his 1970s van, in front of a working charger that I finally found after visiting 3 other chargers. And this was before Electrify America had started coming into Chicago. And so I was doing these piddly little level 2 Walgreens chargers, just trying to get some extra range, more than what I could get from a plug in my wall. And and he parked in front of the charger to save it for his wife who was driving a Nissan Leaf. And I'm like, dude, that is not how this works.
Right. And those don't know, that's actually legitimately the term of iced.
Yep.
It's when you park an ICE or a gas or diesel engine, whatever, in the spot of an EV. And there actually is fines. I've seen fines on the signs.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do a story about calling the police? Did you do a story calling police? Did you call the police or no? Somebody else called the police, and actually the police came over and gave that basically.
Sue Mead. I actually just talked to her on the phone today, and Sue said she's called the police on gas vehicles before.
Yeah, and they actually came out and they have fines. Yeah. They actually pick them up and they tow them. Yeah, so Elliot and Dave's here at All Trade Nation. We'll get to the video in a little bit. We'll play it another time, but let's go more EV stuff. So you had
so that was the initial growing pains problems I had in Chicago of just not being able to find a working charger, getting blocked by ICE vehicles, and so fast forward. Now we're in the Electrify America age where they have started putting in fast charge stations. So no longer level 2. We're talking about level 3 DC fast charge, 150 kilowatts to 350 kilowatts. So if you have something like a Hyundai Ioniq, you can go from 10% to 80% charge in 15 minutes. So now I'm driving the Ford F-150 Lightning, not right now, but I was driving the Ford F-150 Lightning, and I thought, you know what? It's going to be, below 30 degrees. That seems like a really good time to take a road trip and see what's going to happen to my range. And by the way, did not fit in my garage, so I couldn't even plug it into my wall jack just to give it some basic juice or to keep the battery warm. So I had to park it on the street. It was open to the elements. It got snowed on. It was cold. And when I sat in the vehicle and I turned it on, I got a message that essentially said, oh, by the way, you should be plugging this in when not in use. And I was like, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that in Chicago? So and people who own, these trucks they're not going to fit in their garage. So if they have a level 2 charger, they're going to have to install it outside of their house. And that doesn't necessarily always solve the cold problem, but I'm digressing. So decided to drive to Indianapolis. And when I charged it, so I was at Electrify America, it booted me off at 90%. So it wouldn't let me charge up to 100%. I mean, I probably could have unplugged and replugged in, but at that point I was just like, it's going to deliver me like 20 kilowatts. And that's going to take me another hour just to top it off. So I was like, okay, I'm sure 90% is good enough. So it was 234 miles of range. And it's 190 miles to my parents' house. I kept saying, I think I did a video and I kept saying it's 180 miles, but I think it's like 196. Well, by the way, like 233 miles is actually 160 miles. I'm just going to put that out there because I got to Lafayette, Indiana, and like alerts and alarms, and not alarms, but alerts and beeps and things were popping up saying you have to charge this vehicle before your destination. This is where we recommend you go. So it put me into Lafayette, Indiana, which is where I was intending to go anyway. And the F-150 only accepts 150 kilowatts. So I pulled into a 350 kilowatt charger, but couldn't accept the full charge because 150 kilowatts. And so it started at like 120 kilowatts, and then it went down from there. And so then it's just like the cool. I don't know. I do have a note into Electrify America. They did actually reach out to me after I posted a tweet about slow charging times. So they're like, where was this? And what was your charger? And so we're going back and forth. I'm going to get more information from them. So I don't know if it was just that it was cold. I don't know if there's something wrong with the charging, but like, then I went to, get to Indiana, charge there, 24 kilowatts that it was like charging me. And I'm just like, and so, I planned in the charging time, so that didn't bother me. But it was just frustrating to know that I could accept 150 kilowatts and I was getting 89 kilowatts or 24 kilowatts. And trying to get like anything over 80%. And like the more the electric batteries charge, the more the charger slows down because it doesn't want to do anything bad to your battery. And so it was just like, I just want to hit a button and go zap, and then it's charged. So it was just like literally like watching paint dry is what that was. And I mean, I read a book. It was fine. I planned on it, but it was just like you get out and you're like, nope, it's not there yet. Nope, it's not out yet. And so I like you get to these charging stations and you're supposed to be able to put in your phone number and it'll send you text messages. Oh, my sister's cat, sorry, popped up on my sister's phone or on my phone. I've got to show you that. That's cute. So it should be able to send you a text message to let you know so you could like leave your vehicle and then it'll text you when it's ready and you can come back. But I kept trying to enter in my phone number, and one time the phone, like the screen froze, and so like it wouldn't let me do anything. And once I plugged it in, like it wouldn't even let me say stop charging, so I couldn't unplug my vehicle even if I wanted to until it booted me off. Another time I put in my phone number and it didn't accept it, and then it started charging, and then it wouldn't send me. So like I think I got one text message out of 5 times charging.
Yeah, it's an experience. So Jill was having that going on. That video, by the way, for those listening to live stream, we're giving a bunch of behind the scenes information.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm like totally rambling.
No. Yeah. So the video is coming out. It's shot. It's done. It's edited. Jill has to watch it, but it should be coming out this weekend. And then I have a video that's coming out sometime soon. Waiting for GMC to get back with me. I had a GMC Hummer. I walked out in the morning at 7 a.m. The intention was to shoot the video on the regenerative braking versus normal braking on icy road. I want to do this video. I get out and the vehicle has now stopped charging. I've lost like 50 miles of range, and it says, please find a charging unit to be able to plug in because it's cold. It was like 0 degrees out in the video. The video came out terrible because I had the wrong setting on because I was freaking out about the charging and trying to, last minute kind of stuff. But I'm being picky about video quality. But basically what happened was that, let me explain this in a way Jill can make sure that I'm saying this way. So I've installed a 220 volt plug.
Which is not the same as a level 2 wall charger.
It is not the same as level 2 wall charger. So I have the plug outside, just the plug. So imagine you have outlet in your house, the plug in the wall. That's what I have. I don't have anything connected to it. I just have the plug in the wall. GMC and most of these EVs supply a mobile charger for you. And so I plugged in the mobile charger into my 220, hooked that to the vehicle. The mobile charger is good for negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit, and the mobile charger froze. Is the best we can understand it. And so much more stuff, but that's the best we can explain it. It froze. I had to bring it inside, put it in my space heater, heat up with like an hour my space heater till unfroze, then plug it back in and actually started charging again. The concern is that part of my agreement with the local press office, I should say, where I get the vehicles from, the press fleet, was that vehicles charge up as much as I could because they have it's about 120 miles to charging station, which in reality of EV terms, the winter, as we discussed, is like 160 miles, right? And so
120 miles. I mean, yeah, that's like 80 miles of range. It's like you only have like this much.
Yeah, so I mean, that's our current guess is that it froze. Again, I put it in my office. I have a space heater and I heat it up because I only heat my office up in the.
So I want to stop for a second because Alexander's like it froze. So let me like paint a visual picture for you because I just like I had to have Tim explain this to me like 5 times. I'm like I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, please
there's
do.
a cord that like basically comes. It's an accessory that comes with the vehicle, and it has like the little round thing that plugs into the vehicle, and then on the other end there is the plug that would plug into the 240 volt jack. In the middle of that cord is a box, and it's not a charger. It's just I don't know what maybe it's like an inverter. I don't know what that box is that's on that cord. But you keep calling it a charger. I don't think it's a mobile charger. I think that it's just a box that maybe converts the energy so that the vehicle can accept it. But we think that whatever that box is, that box froze. Is that's what you're saying, right?
Right. And we're still doing more research on the box, what it does, what it is, and GMC is getting back to me on what actually happened, because on the back of that box, it says it's rated for negative 30 degrees Celsius to like, I wrote it down, it's like 60, 80 degrees Celsius, which turned out to be like negative 22 Fahrenheit to like 120 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, it was well within the range of that box working, but it would not take any more charge. It actually stopped charging and told me to go find a charger. And the difficulty I had was, as Jill kind of alluded to, is that I was, per the manual, it says, please plug this in at night or during the day, whatever, when it's cold. Plug it in level 2, like Jill said. So Jill can't plug in level 2 at her house because I don't think you probably have 220 with your dryer, which we discussed kind of works
in the house.
But you're running like an 80-foot extension cord to your sidewalk. People are gonna trip over this stuff on the sidewalk. It doesn't fit in your garage. You're unable to do it. And in my case, I have the 220 volt outside my garage. I was able to do it, but it didn't work. And so we've had a few. My son is like crazy. We've had a few issues with that happening. I saw the same day. I saw a video on YouTube talking about. I think it's in Jill's video, where some people with extended range batteries in the Ford Infiniti Lightning are seeing range drop from 320 miles down to 150 miles.
Well, and I will say, like, I had an extended range Ford F-150, and I would say my actual range with the 320 miles of range, my actual range, because I got to Lafayette, which is about 60 miles from Indianapolis. So it's 130 miles from Chicago to Lafayette. And I got to Lafayette with the car saying I only had 30 miles of range left. So I went 130 miles and used 230 miles of range, essentially, because, by the way, 30 miles of range was probably really only 15 miles. So, I should have had 320. I only got it up to 90%. And 90% in this case was just 233 miles. And then, so in theory, I should have been able to make it all the way to Indianapolis on 233 miles, but I had to go to Lafayette, and when I got to Lafayette, I only had 30 miles of range left.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be clear, we are talking about road trip driving.
Yes.
We're talking about range issues, road trip driving. I mean, again, if the charging unit or the piece of plastic did not freeze at my house, I'd been fine, and they didn't freeze and didn't have to pick up the vehicle that day. I would just charge all day. So we're talking about instances where we're having problems with EVs in the wintertime. Consumers having problems, and the person I saw the video, he says, imagine that now you did not do the extended range battery because you didn't know about winter range loss, which I was like, I don't know what winter range loss, I don't know what that is. Imagine you had a standard range battery with 230 miles of range, and now you're looking at maybe 100 miles of actual usage.
Yeah.
I mean, ooh, man, that's
and I like totally like that was for me very unexpected. Like I expected to definitely was planning on stopping in Lafayette regardless, but I was expecting to get to Lafayette and still having like 90 miles of range left. So it was just a little bit of a surprise to me how much range is hindered. And so here's the interesting thing that I discovered. So I thought that range would be hindered because I was not only driving a little bit faster than the speed limit, which is 70 on 65. And I typically go like 9 or 10 miles over the speed limit. I'm not going to lie, go with the flow of traffic, and it's usually doing that. So I thought that in addition to having my heat on, my heated seat, my heated steering wheel, I figured like the climate controls would eat up a lot of battery usage, and that in reality is only 4 or 5%. 80% is how you drive the vehicle, and so I had an email conversation with Emma Berg, who is the EV communications director for Ford, and she was saying essentially that in the cold weather, your battery has to work harder to make the liquids flow through the battery to make the battery work. So the battery is expending energy in cold water to make the battery work, essentially, not make the vehicle go. So you use a lot more energy to make the vehicle go because the battery itself is it has to work harder to work. So I was, and I hope I said that right, but that was like my takeaway from that is the cold weather affects the battery because of just how hard it is for the battery to work.
Yeah, no, I read that in your story, and the story's on pickuptrucktalk.com, by the way. Check it out. Detailed all on the website. And it was interesting to think about the battery. So we know that batteries have to keep at a optimal temperature to work. And that's why they recommend level 2 charging at home when it's cold, because you can draw power from the house to keep that battery at an optimal temperature. That was my takeaway.
I think optimal temperature is like 70 degrees.
Yeah, so that was kind of my takeaway too, right? I mean, optimal temperature. So the idea is when it's cold, you have to heat up those liquids and keep that battery at optimal temperature, which I did not think about. And the other thing I think about as well, EVs, I need to learn a little bit more about this too, is that some EVs, like the Hummer, had a 12-volt battery. So the question is, what's that 12-volt battery do? Does it actually just do the heated seats, heated steering wheel? And is that why you get more range in the Lightning in future generations? Because they theorize they make heated seats and heated steering wheel as not options, but standard equipment. You have longer range.
Well, so I mean, in the article, I posted a link in the comments. But in the article, Ford gives 8 tips, 2 of which are plug your vehicle in while it's overnight when it's not in use, when it's cold, and then put it in the garage. That was tip number 2. But like there's other like 6 other tips in there, and it's I'm like, now I go to the article. And I mean, it's common sense stuff, but I mean, they want you to precondition the battery, and it does say use heated seats and steering wheel as primary heat to reduce energy consumed. To me, that's not new news. And I think that's like, I remember when I was driving the Nissan Leaf way back when it only had 100 miles of range, 13 degrees in Chicago, freezing my butt off because I was only using, the heated steering wheel and the heated seats. And that was not enough at 13 degrees. It was not enough.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really interesting questions we're coming with, and one of the reasons I love doing our job is we learn new things all the time. Like, and one of the things with EVs is that you learn new stuff all the time. All right,
Yeah.
so we're at the 30-minute mark. I'm gonna play the video one more time for those folks who are joining us late. 78% of you guys joining the video. So let's check the video out again on the new truck if you haven't seen it before. Let's go and do that.
I don't know. I think we should make them go back and just watch the beginning.
Automotive standing next to your brand new 2023.
But I want to see the truck again.
High Country Duramax.
You're going to see it plenty coming up soon.
A couple quick things on the truck. If you do have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. My cell phone 260-403.
Blah 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 blah.
Dark ash high country. One thing you'll notice about the front end is they did redo the daytime running lights, which are very beautiful and bright. You will notice the chrome recovery hooks. These little vents down here will be for your front fog lights. As you do see, though, it is a high country.
You know what? I want to go back for a minute. Did you notice this, Jill? Right up to the right of that tow hook, there's a diesel engine block heater. See that little plug to the right? Yeah, that's a block heater. So yeah, it's interesting. I can't wait to do some more analysis building on top of your story about the Ram taking so long to heat up on that
will be
vehicle.
For your front fog lights, as you do see.
I'm just really curious how it's going to impact things.
Dark ash in color, which I really love. More high country badging and Duramax badging. 20-inch wheels and tires, chrome 6-inch steps. From the inside here, you're going to notice your power locks and memory seats, as well as your power outside mirrors. Obviously, with the power folding function, Bose premium sound, power driver and power passenger seat. The High Country does have its own unique trim, which is beautiful. 4-wheel drive and lighting controls. Heated steering wheel, forward collision alert and cruise control. Bluetooth and driver information center controls. We now have these new beautiful interactive screens. Brand new touchscreen radio as well with Google Maps. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is wireless these days for the new Chevy Silverado. Lane keep assist, rear park assist, auto stop start technology, tailgate down, hazard lights, traction, and window. Also, dual zone climate control with ventilated and heated seats for both, USB and USB-C charging ports, and integrated trailer brake. Brand new transmission on these new trucks. We have it now located in the center console versus up on or near the dash. Also hidden right back here is your wireless charging. Spacious rear seat with storage underneath. All High Countries come in with a spray-in bed liner with the embossed High Country. From the back here, you're going to have dual rear cameras, also with a camera right up there as well. Also power rear slider. Rear park assist with dual exhaust outlets. Trailering and wiring. Again, just a beautiful truck. Love the color of this one. Just wanted to walk you around it real quick. Hey, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Once again, Kevin Kelly, Kelly Automotive, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Okay, so yeah, that's the truck. I'm gonna go through these questions a little bit here. James Houston says, "I'm glad you got 4-low. So many Silverados don't give that on their 4-wheel drive." And we did that story, I believe, didn't we, Jill? I think we talked about it a couple years ago that some of the Silverados don't have 4-low.
Yeah.
Interesting question. Elliot jabbing me about making the top YouTube money to pay for the top trim level. I discussed it earlier in the video. I bought the top trim level because I want all the features to be able to more stuff to talk about. All-Terrain Dave wants to know how many times I'm going to say High Country on the vehicle. I will say when I go back to look at the video, I'm disappointed by how little the Duramax name stands out. Just Duramax, that's it. It's like, can you do something a little bit better with that? I don't know.
Nope. But I think we need to like play a game and have people like place guesses about how many times it'll say High Country, and then the person who you have to send them a hat. The person with the closest number without going over.
I have a guess in my head, But here's the kicker for you guys making the guess. So the game is make a guess how many times it says high country. Send me the guess, and I'll send you a hat. The problem with that guess is you don't know that sometimes they put the high country name in the headlights.
Well,
so you
would know the answer. And you know what? We're gonna have to like do a picture with like pointing out where they all are to verify that we haven't missed anything and send it to General Motors. We're gonna have to make this official.
official. Yeah. And Elliot wants to. I did get Super Cruise. I did not. I don't believe it comes with Super Cruise. And the problem with that is because chip shortage. The Denali Ultimate I have in the driveway right now does not have the Super Cruise steering wheel. Yeah. So I mean, I can see them adding the chip later, but not having the steering wheel is. Let me say it differently. The steering wheel is full leather all the way around. Like it doesn't have the Super Cruise from 10 and 2 position on the steering wheel has a LED light that basically goes around. Lack of a better way to say it. And so this does not have that. And so I was curious about that.
I mean, I know like GMCs usually get Super Cruise. I'm surprised the High Country. I mean, maybe it was an option and it was just an option delete because of.
Well, I'm saying that this GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate outside does not have it.
But I think that it was the Denali Ultimate. Okay, so like the Denali, I think it was an option, but it was supposed to be standard on the Denali Ultimate.
Right. So steering wheel I have outside does not have. So it's.
And there's no way to retrofit that.
I don't think so, because unless you take steering wheel off and redo, but it doesn't have the. I mean, it doesn't have the spot for the
camera. It doesn't have the. Yeah. It wouldn't. Yeah.
I feel like a TikTok's coming through my veins a moment. Does he know you're a YouTuber? Actually, he does. It turns out the dealership staff has now discovered who I am, and they're watching our YouTube videos, and they may actually watch the YouTube video right now as we're talking.
Hi, if you are.
Yeah. So James Hughes wants to know what's the actual ratio on the truck. I actually don't know. Sorry. I built it. Here's the deal. I built it. I did a build and price. I sent the information to the dealer. He ordered it. And then somehow, through my lack of file management, I lost the actual email and the photo of what I built. I'm thinking it's 373 because I got the max trailering package.
Can you search on your iPhone and find it? Because like sometimes on my computer I can't find it, but I search on my phone and it like stores stuff. Even if I've deleted it, I can usually find it. Try searching on your phone, not a tablet.
Stop. Brand new, I know. He said brand new transmission. I thought it was kind of funny too. He meant transmission shifter in that video. It's just a shifter. It's different. Transmission is the same. It's a 10 speed. They've had 10 speed all the time. All right, Dave in Canada, who I've decided that people think I'm cranky about things. Mr. Dave in Canada, I will give it up to you. You are cranky about stuff.
Wait, somebody's crankier than Tim?
It is. And I appreciate our fans. Dave, love you, buddy. But man, you just love to lay the smackdown. Look at all the expensive electronic garbage waiting to break, keeping you on a first-name basis of the mechanics.
Well, but that's not the mechanics. We're like the engineers.
Yeah, the engineers are soft. I mean, yeah, goodness, the darts.
Because you are on a first-name basis with all of the Toyota engineers at this point.
You know what? I will say this to our credit that a lot of engineers watch our channel because of the way we present information. We present things they can do something about. Not about how it does in the 060 testing or how it performs in the ultra weird skid pad situation going on. We present things out that engineers can appreciate. They can say, I will tell you the story. I had it once a long time ago. I was with some engineers at a bar. That's always where my stories go. Anyways, I was at the bar with the engineers, and they said, you know what? They said, I love your videos because I read stuff on your competitors' websites, and I'm the lead engineer, and I have no idea what they're talking about. With your stuff, I get it. You bitch about this, and it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense to us, and those are actionable items. We can make those fixes. And I think Jill and I have the same viewpoint. Vehicle Danny says, no, you're buying the high country so you can share the feedback of all that equipment, but would it be curious which features you would do without? What's the best bang for your buck? I agree with you. I thought long and hard about this, about whether to buy high trim level or not, and I just decided to do it. But I still think the LT Trail Boss is a better bang for the dollar. and so I will definitely call that stuff out. But yeah, I thought it was interesting too. I was this is the first time I have ever bought the highest trim level. I usually buy a lower trim level, and I'm curious. Dave says he is cranky. I'm gonna put this on the screen because he is cranky, so that's fine. Yeah, Grand. So there's a question about talking about the Toyota Grand Wagoneer that did go live.
Highlander, not Grand Wagoneer.
Highlander, Grand Highlander.
Do you need glasses for your tablet?
You know, it's Friday night. It's late, and I'm tired, so knock it off. So Toyota Grand Highlander. I wrote a story today about this. So we have a spy photo of it. It's or a teaser photo, excuse me, and it's basically a 3-row SUV coming from Toyota.
And we know that we will actually see it in real life in Chicago in February. They're going to be revealing it at the Chicago Auto Show.
Yes, and Jill
you did say that in the story, so that is public knowledge.
Yeah, no. I mean, Toyota basically announced.
Like I said something I shouldn't have.
No. I was reading about Dave in Canada. I'm gonna start. Dave in Canada. I'm gonna change your name to Cranky Dave. So Cranky Dave says, "Power seats. I get in the car, sit the driver's seat, never look at it again. 15 years, waste of money."
So does Cranky Dave is he not married? Because, like, by the way, like, if my husband and I are switching back and forth in the seats, like, I go all the way like this, and my husband, who's really not that tall, goes all the way back like this and, like, down. So, like, very big, disparate driving positions, like, we have to switch back and forth every time. I want memory seats in the next vehicle we buy.
Right, memory seats, and they have power seats. Yeah. Don't even. Elliot says engineers don't even understand the engineer speak. There are times that actually happens. There are times that happens. Yeah, and Dave's like, all right, here we go, Dave. Another cranky Dave. Dave says, I'm getting really cranky about the power lift gates and SUVs, slow and expensive. Jill.
Some of them you can actually set the speed on. I have no real opinion about power lift gates. I do like the hands-free ones that actually work. Some of them don't work very well, and you're like kick, and then you fall over because you've lost your balance because you're jumping around on one foot trying to find where you're supposed to kick. But no, I mean, I don't mind them. I can do without them in most cases. Slow. You know what's slow? I just did a TikTok the other day on the Lexus LX 600 and the rear folding seats, the third row seats folding down, and you have to like hold the button, and it's like, and you're like, come on. and so like that was and everybody, yeah, that was slow. It was really slow. That was slow. Power liftgate, not as slow as that.
This is turning into a Peter Griffin, you know, it really grinds my gears feature. Okay. Yeah. Point taken. Let's see. James Houston wants to know, was there a discount on this truck? It's interesting. Actually, I'm getting employee pricing because of my dad. He was a GM employee for years. I did not get much more cash off. I know Ram is doing some cash off the hood. He's taking $8,000 off his Ram Bighorn Night Edition, and there was a can I say sale? There was a sale on full-size trucks or a discount or whatever nationally on Bighorn editions. Ram was giving much money off, trying to move that inventory. So, I could maybe you got a good deal. I don't think I'm going to get that good of a deal. I don't. And this sounds a little bit like pretentious, but I don't care because I need the tax write-offs, need that kind of stuff.
Just by the way, I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, thank you for that. Cranky Dave says, I've seen the newer SUVs that have faster operating rear lift gates. Yeah, I'm sure they can improve that over time. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. What's going on? All right.
Oh, wait. Here we go. That. You should sell Swede to Dave. He'll love it.
Hold on. My son is knocking. Yes, son, we're doing live on YouTube. What pressing issue you have? You said you're bored. Yeah. Okay, well, go away.
Go read a book.
Go do something else.
Go read a book.
You've got 2 different TVs, Xboxes, Kindles, phones. Go find a remote. Oh, he lost remote again. Yes. No, Swede is not for sale. Swede hopefully be done next year because I don't have any money this year to finish his upgrades.
To finish the never-ending thing that you never should have done.
Earwax buildup. Quick, get what you said. All right, let's end in this. Because I'm running out of steam. But
I'm like, I'm like, and we're done. You're like, and let's sign off.
Good. Because I think this is really interesting. This is a Vehicle Nanny brings this up. Very interesting. I want to get your thoughts on this because it's kind of controversial. So, Jill, will read the comment for us, please.
Supposedly, Corvette will become an extended brand with a sedan and SUV. Are you looking forward to driving a Corvette SUV? Maybe they will kill that thing called Blazer. I did read this. I can't remember where I read it. I did read it because they're gonna do, I think, like a sedan and an SUV. Yeah, as he says. Was it 2025? Maybe, I can't remember the year, but in a couple of years they're looking at and doing that. And I think did I also read that it's supposed to be electric? Maybe not.
Oh, it's got to be electric at this point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, love it or hate it, that's the way GM is going these days. It's got to be electric.
Yeah, and the mid-engine Corvette is like the last hurrah, I think, for Corvette in terms of gas engine. I don't think that a Corvette SUV is going to do anything. But making it a sedan, I don't think that's going to do anything because everybody's doing away with sedans. The American automakers are. But I see Corvette ending up like Mustang Mach-E. I mean, I think that they will make it electric, and I think that it will, it's a way to carry on the brand. Now, I hope that they will also then do an electric version of the actual sports car. But yeah, Alexander, I think McKay nailed it. I definitely think it's going to be shades of the Mach-E.
Yeah, so I mean, are you okay with them using Corvette name on SUV like Mustang did on the SUV?
So
you know that controversy is still raging.
I know the controversy is still raging, and so one of my favorite vehicles, by the way, if you can wait, let me go this way. If you can see the pillow in the background, there is the 1963 split window Corvette. I think that is one of the most beautiful vehicles and ever created. I've never driven it. I've heard it doesn't drive really well, but I love that vehicle. But I don't think I am old enough to really be attached to a nameplate. I mean, a name is just a name is just a name. It's kind of like water, Tim. Okay. It's just water.
Not going like the water situation again.
It's just water. It's just a name. And so, like, for people to get all like hot and bothered over a name, I'm not there. I'm not there.
Well, I just think it's interesting because it's like, does General Motors need another sub brand, right? You had Buick, you had Oldsmobile, you had.
But I don't think it's going to be a sub brand like Buick or Oldsmobile. I think it's going to be a sub brand like Bronco is a sub brand of Ford, like Grand Wagoneer is a sub brand of Jeep. Like, it's still going to be like the Chevy Corvette, but it'll just be, you'll just have a family of vehicles in that lineup. So you've got Bronco, you've got Bronco Sport, you've got the Grand Wagoneer, you've got the Wagoneer. So like, I could see them doing like smaller Wagoneer vehicles, and I could see, I don't see them necessarily creating a new Oldsmobile. I don't think that's what Corvette is going to be. I think it's going to be like a Wagoneer or the Bronco.
So our friend says, thank you, Jill. Not a fan of the get off my lawn types that are attachments to a name.
I don't know. I mean, there are things that I get attached to. I won't tell you. Well, actually, I will tell you. Someday I'll show you in my closet over here. I have a file box with correspondence like every piece of written correspondence I've received from people that are important in my life. I have notes that I passed in junior high school with my best friend, written correspondence, and I have a file with everybody's name on it. So I do get attached to some things. Why correspondence? I don't know. I have every like letter, note, card my grandmother ever sent me. I don't know why I latched onto that, but a name is not that thing.
Who else had on their bingo card what comes out of Joe's closet for tonight's ice cream?
I've got my mom's silver in there too, so there's stuff in that closet. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, Gerald. I think Gerald rounds it up for us all. Wow, wow. Single word. Wow. It's just. I don't know. I would like to see how this turns out. There's always these news rumors, always all stuff. But let's see how it actually turns out. Let's see if there actually is a Corvette SUV. Lamborghini has done an SUV. Porsche has done an SUV. They've all had to succumb to the SUV craze, I would say, and they've had to adapt the changing nature of times. I mean, the Hummer EV is 9,000 pound, 4.5 ton, basically truck / SUV. It doesn't really, I don't consider it a truck, but I mean, my goodness, it's fantastic. And they had to kind of succumb to doing EVs. Changes had to happen. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah. Somebody needs to bring back the AMC Eagle SUV car. They did, Cranky Dave. They call it Toyota Crown.
We're going to make you change your name, Dave, your YouTube name. It's no longer Dave in Canada. It's now Cranky Dave.
Right. No, I really think if you look at the Toyota Crown, the Toyota Crown is the AMC Eagle. I don't know. You're going to see it. Yes, it's happening. I'm that old. All right. Yeah, I don't know. So Todd, our good friend Todd, from Minnesota, right? I think Minnesota. He says, Tim, that is like saying Chevy has an SUV. A Corvette is not a brand. But is Corvette a big enough name to have its own brand? I mean,
it's Mustang, it's Bronco.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
It's Wagoneer.
Yeah, it's interesting. So it's not a Jeep Wagoneer. No. It's a Wagoneer.
I think there is Jeep on the vehicle in like one place.
The weird part is when you go to cars.com or like auto or car gurus, whatever, to search for it, you have to go Jeep then Wagoneer.
Because it is. It's a Jeep Wagoneer. That's right. What it is.
We don't know how to search for it. We don't understand how it works out. So yes, the Crown, the Toyota Crown, Dave, Cranky Dave, go check that out. I don't know. It's a very interesting place to be in the marketplace. The last kicker I have for you guys tonight is that I'm going to buy my wife a new SUV this year because the Tundra just does not fit for her needs. We're talking about an EV SUV, and I think it works out well for her, but basically blew her mind and how expensive these things are. I looked up a Hyundai Ioniq. I think it's like 50,000 even used. The Mustang Mach-E was 65,000 with like 20,000 miles on it. So we talk a lot about resale value with EVs and how good, bad, otherwise they are. Holy cow. They're expensive. And so I don't know what we're going to end up with this year. We end up with something, but it's going to be interesting. So, Jill, on your top, like small EV SUVs, I mean, there's not enough variety out there at the moment, actually. But what is your so let's break this down. So we have VW ID4.
Yeah.
It is. It's kind of blah, right? It's just blah, right? If you do Kia, Hyundai, and Genesis, you got to say what entry is going to be a Kia, right? Is it? It's a little bit less. It's a little bit less.
I think they're all pretty similarly priced.
The Genesis is expensive. Genesis is. I looked it up. Very expensive.
And I feel like actually, Ioniq might be the least expensive.
Yeah,
it's starting to get a little bit more expensive than Hyundai. It's weird.
I know. I don't understand their placement of brands. Like, is Kia the entry? Then Hyundai is like the middle. Then
I think Kia is the sport and Hyundai is the luxury.
Yeah, I have figured that out.
Not luxury, but like mainstream.
So we're looking at Kia, looking at Hyundai, the Chevy Bolt.
Yeah, I think the Bolt EUV could be a viable.
It is the cheapest option. The problem is it's got no ground clearance and it's front-wheel drive only.
But heavy battery. You should see if you could get a Bolt EUV as a test vehicle and see how it does in the winter. No, that'd be interesting.
So yeah, there's that question. I don't think anything else is out there at the moment. The Chevy Equinox EV will be next year.
Yeah.
Ford Mustang Mach-E is their choice, but that's hella expensive because all they're selling is the top trim levels, right? The whatever, and so that's all really expensive. So yeah, I'm legitimately trying to buy. Here's the deal: my wife drives around town. She goes to school, to school, to school. So she goes to school for like an hour. And then she drives next to school for like 5 minutes. So she's cold all day long because the vehicle never heats up enough to warm her up.
Mm-hmm.
And she loves tech, and she wants to fit in her garage. And she's gonna drive Silverado a little bit. She drives Tundra a little bit, but really, she doesn't really drive very often as far as many miles, and she doesn't need that vehicle, the big size. She's a school teacher, doesn't need that big 8-foot bed or 5-foot bed, whatever. Front-wheel drive is fine in the snow and ice with proper snow tires. Yeah. The problem is they don't plow our street, and so we have to go through snowbanks all the time, and that's a bit of a problem. 50% battery in cold weather. We discussed earlier on, Ron. There's some challenges with EVs in cold weather for her. Her daily driving is like 30, 40 miles, so that's not a big problem for her. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting question. So, frankly, I'm looking at buying 2 vehicles next month, one for me and one for her, and then selling the Tundra somewhere in the equation. Just because, look, if Mama's not happy, nobody's happy.
And don't forget it.
If Mama's not happy, nobody's happy, and so
make her happy.
Yeah, I'm not happy with the current situation going on with our vehicle lineup, and I'll make that change hopefully next month. Yeah, this is going on. Okay, anything else tonight? Anything else people want to talk about? Jill be the best person to give advice on the best warm car. Yeah, Jill knows all about warm cars.
Well, because as he then points out, I have the seat heater on and I keep it at 80. And by the way, that's in the summer. I do that in the summer.
Yeah, no, I've definitely been with her in vehicles in warm climates with seat heaters on. Will GMC make a AT4X Yukon? Likely. I see it happening. I mean, they're making those small, extensions of the vehicle, like an AT4X or Denali Ultimate. They're a small percentage niche trim level, but they do have a lot of uptick as far as margins for income, more profitability. So I see them doing that. Yeah. And yes, we have new Chevy Montana was unveiled in South America someplace, not coming to US. A lot of discussions on that.
Although I did completely tangenting here about not being available in the US. I think I saw a post today that maybe the Land Cruiser might be coming to the US.
I saw that too. Yes, I saw the Land Cruiser coming to the United States.
Maybe
Autoblog. It was not a chintzy outlet that covered that.
No.
It was something pretty big, and so yes, Land Cruiser coming back would be interesting because it's such a big nameplate for Toyota.
I don't know why they would have I don't know why they got rid of it in the United States. I think that was.
Yeah, so it's like, so what if it sells a little bit? Who cares? I mean, it's a big nameplate. So, anyways, that's what I got for you tonight. Next week we may be live in Chicago. We could be. We're debating about that. Maybe Saturday. Maybe
like a Saturday day.
Saturday day. Yeah, we're debating on that stuff.
Midwest Automotive Media Association is having a holiday party. So
we may be drunk at the holiday party doing live stream. There you go. Tune in for that.
No. No, we will not be.
Tune in for more. Well, let's go on for that. So lots of going on the channel. Again, I will be traveling, picking up a new truck. So hopefully you guys watch the videos because it's going to be exciting times. And like I said, we have a lot more stuff coming up for you on EVs, cold weather situation coming up on the weekend or not the weekend.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you what, I'm watching college football this weekend. Lots of good playoff games. And go USA. USA versus Netherlands tomorrow in the World Cup.
I'm going to be running tomorrow morning in the bitter cold, and then I'm going someplace warm to watch that game.
Yeah, I actually don't care about soccer, but I'm actually really kind of curious what the USA can do something. My wife said to me, she goes, "You don't watch soccer?" I said, "Yeah, but this may be the only time in my life that USA has a chance for World Cup. Like, it's a big deal, folks. Yeah. Support your country." That's what I got to say about that. All right.
That's what I've got to say about that. All right.
I threw something down there. You didn't see the mic drop. All right. There we go. That's what we got for you tonight. Check us out on the website, pickuptrucktalk.com. Send a newsletter as well. Working on a newsletter. We have newsletter coming out. We have a new website working on. We have lots of stuff behind the scenes working on. We make you guys more enjoying our content. Yeah. Yeah, it's working out. As always, thanks for watching. We will see you down the road.